Okay, so Lionel gets up early because he goes to the market normally, so he's used to getting up at 3, 5 in the morning. So he did, and this is what he made. It's apparently he's going to explain to me about cars, so he's put it all in order. So let's go and find out. Okay.
It don't matter.
So, what have you made?
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do now?
Well, what?
Where's it going to start?
What did you make? What is it? It's...
All right, you want to know. My interest in automobiles, cars, was really, I suppose, by my father, who was a motorcyclist pre-war. He also competed in a Caerphilly hill climb, which is the old road coming over towards Cardiff, and they did car racing up there. So he was a fanatic on bikes, really, motorbikes, but he always put me off bikes. I started driving when I was about 15, maybe sitting on his lap before that. Anyway, the first car I had was given to me when I was an apprentice by an American who had a very large old Austin. Gave it to me because he went back to the States. I drove it a couple of times, but it wasn't for me. It was just a bloody old Austin. And I didn't have a car then. I didn't own a car then for maybe a year. This thing was in the drive and it was flogged for scrap for £0.50, something like that. Someone took it away. Anyway, I drove his Singer. He had a early 50s Singer car, but it wasn't my own. Anyway, my father had Riley cars before the war, and he said, and a friend of mine in work also had a Riley Merlin, 1937, and he said, well, I know another one. He bought it in Rumney. There's one for sale in Rumney, a silver one. He only wants 25 quid for it, so I bought the Riley. And I got a fanatical interest, like most Riley owners, in the history of the Riley company. This is where it's starting. They were fast cars for the day.
What year did you get this car?
1959, 1961, or something like that.
You're about 20, were you?
Yeah. Anyway, most people who owned the Riley car realised it was something special with the engines. The Riley 9 was a revolutionary type of motor built by the Riley company, Percy and I can't think of his name. The Riley brothers, anyway, all their money went on racing. And the first one we'll go to now is a car which everyone wanted. It's my cousin there.
It's that one, isn't it?
No, this one first, they're up there. This is, was taken at Alton Park.
Okay.
And this is a very famous car. VC8304, and it's a Riley Brooklands. We all wanted one of those, but I was only buying cars for 25 quid. This was about 125 quid. Now you can put a price on it with millions. Very few left in original condition because that's my cousin there.
What's his name?
Eric Herbert.
Eric, your cousin?
And we went up.
Is he around still?
Yes, Cardiff born.
Is he still in Cardiff?
No, he died. He's dead. Anyway, we went up to, my father was in hospital. He didn't know, but he had an Armstrong Siddeley 234. And Eric said, how about our trip up to Alton Park by Liverpool, and where they had the VSCC race meeting, a famous race meeting every year. And there he is, that's Alton Park. And we were walking on the car park. This wasn't in the competition. I said, bloody hell, VC80, the famous Brooklands car. Anyway, we go from that one, to everyone's mentor as a Riley driver. He was quite a character. This is Freddie Dixon. In his first race, because he was a famous motorcyclist, a winner. He won the TT on a HRD, and he rode Harley Davidsons, and he was a race driver when he got into cars, he considered cars should be as fast as motorcycles, which in those days they were poles apart. Anyway, that's a photograph of his first race where he obtained a Riley Brooklands, like the one below, and it wasn't good enough for him. And he made a special out of the same chassis. Didn't do anything, he had a works engine because he knew the Riley company. And that's Ainsley, I remember the name, his mechanic. And if you look, he's turning off the ignition while in midair because he got a bit tired and he lost it on the last bend. He was a lap ahead. That was his first race in a Riley, in any race, motor racing.
So that's him going into the bush.
He ended up.
He's in the air.
He's in the air. He ended up in a rhubarb field, apparently. So all this is in the books. I wasn't there, and I have memory retention to most of it. Some things I can't remember. Anyway, I'll go to the next one.
What year was this?
Oh, that was about 1909, or it's in the 30s. Just say the 30s. That's good enough for people. Pre-war. Anyway, the second one. This is Fred Dixon, now established as a major force in Brooklands, and there he is, possibly that one, number 31, that's winning the 500-mile race on his own. The first one he did single, so he drove 500 miles on his own. These were incredible cars because he used the Riley car as a basis because it was an incredible engine, a 6-cylinder. He didn't believe in supercharging. He had multi-carburetors, and lo and behold, anyone tried to look under the bonnet. So they say. He locked it with with an ordinary garage lock.
It's got a little strap
And
on
if
it.
anyone went near that car, he was very, very over keen with his fists. He was an incredible rough diamond, we call him, and he got on very well with the aristocracy in Britain. Certainly Earl Howe, Lord Howe, they were on Christian names according to the book, and he highly respected. And Lord Howe said when Dixon's on form with his he built the engines. He was an engineer, race driver, incredible race driver, didn't know the meaning of the word brake, and incredibly fast. Built all the latest Alfa Romeo, so that's the one. There's one on the banking now. Oh God. This is on the Brooklands banking. There's a course car there for in case of accidents.
Who's
There
this?
he is. It's Fred Dixon's old Dixon.
Okay.
There he is in the air. One wheel, as Lara here said, there's only one wheel touching the ground. Next.
That's the ground.
Yeah.
That's the back one.
And
touching the
down the Vickers, what's it called, the Vickers Strait, he could touch way over 150 mile an hour, averaging on the banking 135, no problem.
Okay.
It depended on the weather and how it was. These cars could possibly, if you floored it 170, then it'll blow up. There's the cover of the book. He was talked about, and this man, David Mason, wrote a book on the history of, it's a cartoon of Dixon there looking at the spark plug, and there's the strap, and there, on the pin.
He's having a fag.
Yeah, he got a fag. He's got a spark plug there, taking out the engine. So the next one, otherwise we're going to be all day.
He's lighting his fag, isn't he?
Yes, it's a joke, isn't it? You can see there was a cherub face.
This is the 1930s.
Yeah, that's 1930s. Next one is my favourite photograph. It's out of the book. This is out of that book.
Okay.
And that's his daughter, who apparently did drive his. That's his another Brooklands he had. He signed there. He had a wonderful character, very charismatic face. He was a short guy, but extremely powerful, big hands, and a brilliant engineer. He only knew one, apparently, so they say. 10 tenths for him. 10 tenths wasn't good enough.
Okay, next.
Next, we go now. We've done that one. Right, order, no, here. So that was his 6-cylinder racers. Oh, that's the 9, the earlier one. We go, no, we done that.
Yeah.
We go to Raymond Mays now, who was an incredible Riley engineer, a wealthy man, and he built possibly one of the most famous race cars that ever been, the White Riley. Twin back wheels to assimilate what the modern tyres they use today to get the traction. Same engine as Dixon, only his ideas, that was supercharged. Dixon, apparently they didn't get on. They didn't get on. He did not believe in that supercharged, and Dixon admitted it was an incredible car. Out of that, he formed a company called ERA. And you go along here. That was the White Riley, because the ERA used a Riley engine. So we come here he is in the most famous ERA, one of the last ones. That's at Brooklands. Porsche front, I think it's the Porsche front suspension, which was very specially built for him. And that car is raced today, and that car is still one of the fastest of the vintage cars. It'll outdrag any bloody Porsche. It's incredible acceleration. Going along now, that's Raymond. It's my cousin at Alton Park again. Here's another ERA on the that's him there. This car was brought back from South Africa. Don't know any more than that. Now, the driver. That's R4D, the same car there. Later on, it must be the 50s. Single or twin back. It's the same car. Now, Tony Roll. No, it's not. I can't think of the name. They're famous, all famous. So we go now down this one. This is B. Byra Bengalis, Siam, famous, got interesting cars and a wealthy family, and they shipped an ERA to him, and he owned that car. And he gave it the name Remus or Romulus. See, I'm losing it now, I don't know which one. Anyways, Remus or Romulus, I think I had two in the end. But he was an incredible driver. I learnt the European way, came to this country and lived in London.
Where is he from?
Siam. He was a prince, but they called him Byra. Next one, ERA again. That's Alton Park, the same one as we started with. I think it's this fella, I did know him well and talk to him, Tony Cottam. I think he came from Cardiff. He owned these cars. You see, these cars in that day were still valuable, but nothing like today.
Yeah.
And all these ERAs are still in existence, all 17 of them. Okay. Next one, Bob Gerard. That's Bob Gerard. I know the name there. That's at Silverstone when he was competing against current Formula 1 on the British Grand Prix. Nearly bloody won it in the wet because the more powerful cars couldn't get the traction. He came third, or it's in the book. Anyway, I've forgotten it. Now we go from that to the E-Type. We used to ERA, which was a Formula 1 car. That's Raymond Mays up here, driving at Alton Park, not Alton Park, Donington Park. These are all out of the book. And that is an E-Type again. Can't think of his name. No, it's in the book. That's the famous E-Type.
Okay.
Now we go. We've got to go to the front now.
Something about.
Oh, that's the end. That's the end. That one. That'll do for that. I'm getting out of breath, so we can watch my beer.
Okay.
We'll go around the front now.
We'll come back in a minute.
And now from the ERA.
We'll take a breather.
No, we'll go then. Okay, let's put. Hey, you bit my photograph stuff. Well, that's the same one. That's the ride. We start here.
Okay.